Academy Award nominated? Has it set in yet?
No, it still feels like you're lying to me. Like I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? You got me confused with somebody. That's how it feels.
When you did King Richard, obviously the world knew that you deserved to be nominated for something. But was there a scene that you say, you know what, I did that?
Right. Well, when when you're in the, for me anyway, like I never thought that the reaction that we've gotten to the movie, I didn't anticipate that at all. It was all very, very surprising to me. And I guess, when maybe late last spring, I started hearing that people were responding positively to it. So, but there were people who were associated with the film. And then in the fall, the people started seeing it, and I started hearing like really positive reactions. But I had no idea that it would get the response that it got. Now, in terms of like when we're doing the film and feeling good about it, I was just trying to get through it. I really was just trying to get through it. So I just didn't have that feeling. I was just like, oh God, thank you. It's over. You know what I mean? It's over. And as soon as I was done shooting, I went home that morning, and that morning I was on the road back to Mississippi. So I wasn't thinking about it. But the thing is when I've been in some great films and I've worked with some really great actors, but having a role like this where I'm opposite Will Smith, and it's this big studio movie, it's just a different kind of experience,
So is there one particular movie that you've been in that you feel like is underrated?
Underrated? Oh, I think the Clark Sisters movie was underrated, but no. Let me explain. I think we love the Clark Sisters. I wish that the wider audience would have put the Clark Sisters in the conversation that I feel that it deserved to be in. A lot of times when we tell stories about our heroes, they don't translate because they don't know them.
Do you think that there's anybody you would trust to tell your story the way that you have told so many other people's stories?
Listen, don't nobody want to tell a story. That's boring. Ain't nobody gonna sit for 2 hours and watch me play with animals out in the woods back home. That is not interesting.
What do you say is the one thing everybody has to know about Aunjanue Ellis?
God, I'm still working on that. Very hard. But I think what's important right now, say for instance, if the end of my life is today, I would say that I would want the record to show that I took care of my family and that they were the most important things in my life. And I put them first, ahead of anything, ahead of my professional life, ahead of everything. And I made choices that reflected that. I chose to live in Mississippi rather than, living in other places. And when I was living in those other places, I left there, New York, to come back home to take care of my family. And it was the most important thing that I've ever done, was returning back to Mississippi. And it really changed the course of my acting life, doing that. And then I would say the other thing, I want the record to show that I fought 21st century Confederates, tooth and nail. And that is something that, it was incredibly important to me. It still is. And so, yeah, I think that's the measure of the life I've lived, I think.